Hello learners, I am Dr. Subodh Kesharwani working with Indira Gandhi National Open University in School of Management Studies. The topic which I am going to talk today is quite important because we have talked a lot on very important terms, the data and the other things, and we have talked about softwares, we have talked about the different aspects, and what we have observed that this data uh, as far as the data protection is concerned, as far as the data regulation is concerned, is very important thing because the whole world is talking about how you're going to protect by and large the society, the consumers who are using, and for that the regulators are coming up, and there are certain regulations which are working in this direction on a pan word basis, and then narrow down to pan India basis or to the country specific. So there is a great or different kind of threat is coming up. The cyber threat is there, hacking is coming up, cyber securities are there, cyber issues are there. We are moving from brick and mortar system to click and mortar systems. And what we have observed that when we are moving and putting everything on a virtual platform, like putting the text or the the important data on the website or on the drives or on the cloud. So it's a moral duty of the providers or the service providers or the software companies to keep and protect the data. But there are certain the malpractices involved. There are certain the issues comes. So keeping in mind, this General Data Protection Regulation had come up in the year 2018, and which is an initiative by United Nations and European Union, and they are working in this direction to just put a alarm bell or you know find out a way so that this malpractices are need to be controlled. So production regulation is a very important thing, and when we go in as far as the whole discussion is concerned, you will find out that regulators are right now working in a direction that putting how they are going to use the data. There are certain protocols, there are certain checklists which they have to follow, and if they are not adhere to that, the heavy penalty is going to be imposed. It's not like that it is going to be imposed on the small companies or the companies who are in the startup mode, but it's the big companies, like the Fortune 500 companies or the companies who are in the $1 trillion club. They have heavily penalized, and they have paid the huge amount not to protect the data of the individuals. There were some bad examples, and some good things are also going on. We have seen that if you go through the news, online news, you will find out that ransomware virus were there, and it had hacked the particular website of any travel company, and then they have asked the money through bitcoins. And if they are and if they have not given the bitcoins, ultimately they are going to make the data public, or use the data or use the private information of that particular consumers. So this is where the general data protection regulations had come up, and if you go more into the backdrop, the today discussion, you will find out that that how much it is important, because the whole world is talking about big data, whole world is talking about gigantic data, but right now the time had come where we have to see how we are going to protect the data, because protection is also one of the way of serving the society by and large. So anyway, this is part of our course called BCom CVCS, and Computer Application Business is the name of the course, and which is in third semester, and we are in the fifth unit, fifth chapters, and we have already four dedicated sessions on this particular chapter, started with computers, with business information system. We have business information system 2, then we have database management system and enterprise application. So this unit 2, this is the last head of the unit 2, or the chapter 2 rather we can say. And in this enterprise application, we have covered the different 3-letter acronyms like ERP, enterprise information system, supply chain management, transaction processing system, or the various ways of the integrated software or the enterprise application. But since we have talked a lot about computers, softwares, web applications, business information, database management system, and different applications or the different vendors who are supplying these softwares, the integrated softwares, rather we can say. Now, right now, we are just concentrating on how we are going to talk about the privacy and other things. We will definitely talk about certain terms like cyber security, cyber threats in our forthcoming session. But as far as this GDPR is concerned, if you see this particular unit, we start with data information, then we have business information system, we have elaborately talked about database management system, then all these decision support system, three-letter acronyms, enterprise resource planning, or MIS, management information system, which considered to be a application software or integrated application software for the business houses, are covered. So this general data protection regulation is a new terminology which had come up, or no doubt there were certain regulations were there, but people were, or the corporate house were not taking this seriously. But since this is now a regulation and the regulator is behind that, and every country is morally bound to have the chapters which is linked with the European Union chapters. So if you talk about the privacy policy by the government of India had also come up, MITI is taking care, and in the coming slide when we come to the discussion, we will find out that how the India have also taken initiatives and work as a watchdog as far as this regulation is concerned. So this is all about, and if you see this data and other things, we have very easily talk about what exactly the data is and how the data is going to be converted into information and what kind of information are you working with. I think the example had been taken from the traffic light. Restricted data, this is a stop symbol. Caution is confidential data, and when you talk about the green light, it's talk about non-confidential data. So these are the different kind of information which requires different protections. How we are going to protect, and because protection is very important, because the plastic money, the wallet informations, or the testimonials or the details about the consumers are available on the web, and this is moving in a real time manner. It's not like that it's a redundant data or the past data, and if anybody get the access to that particular data, I think it's a very severe affair, and as far as the corporate house is concerned, or the portals are concerned, or the government is concerned, is very serious, because this is also a similar kind of theft or threat. So how to come out from this theft or threat? This regulation had been formulated, and the commerce players, or the online players or the digital companies are very much adhered to that. If they are not following the procedures of GDPR, they will be in trouble, and in the coming years you will find out, or they will be going to pay a very heavy penalty if they are not following the rules and regulations. So we start with the data breach. Data breach is a security violation which sensitive, protected or confidential data is copied, transmitted, viewed, stolen or used by an individual unauthorized to do so. So what we have heard that a lot of hacking is going on, where somebody have hacked the particular portal, and then when they hack the portal, they are not hacking the testimonials or the informations of the company. They hack the consumer's data, and these consumer data are available in their wallets, or or in the form of the plastic money details or CVV number, or other details. So very easily, if someone had hacked the data, they can misuse that plastic money or the wallet information. So the data, if you talk about the data privacy, compliance with data protection laws and regulations, focus on how to collect, process, share, archive and delete the data. So if you talk about the data security measures that an organization is taking in order to prevent any third party from unauthorized access. So this is basically data security. There are certain tools also, but law, as far as the law is concerned, law used to talk about how much the data privacy is there and what's your terms and condition is. There was a time when we never go through the privacy policy or the terms and condition framed by any vendors, and we just log in, or we just register ourselves and then put the tick mark on the accepting the privacy policy, and we bother not to go into the depth and see what exactly the terms and condition is. Sometimes what happen, if you talk about the social networking sites, they have a terms and condition that whatever the information you are going to float on the social networking portal, it's going to be owned by by the particular e-commerce or the social networking company, but we never bothered that. So these are the privacy policy which talks about all those things, and the regulator is working in this direction, that whether that privacy policy is in the interest of the common users or common man, or it is going to benefit the company as a whole. So this GDPR policy is very holistic in nature. It not just only talks about the data security, data privacy, but what I was talking about, work as a watchdog. So GDPR is a data protection officer, which we usually call DPO. There are certain compliances, and it started in the year 25th May 2018, and then it takes care about the data breaches, personal data, compliances, and data protection and other things. So what exactly the GDPR is? If we see, GDPR is a new set of rules designed to give EU citizens more control over the personal data, and it aims to simplify. It was started by the European Union citizens, but now it's a pan-world phenomena, and in Government of India is also working in this direction, and they have opened the chapter of this protection and regulations, which is directly taken care by the Government of India. So it aims to simplify the regulatory environment for business, so both citizens and business can fully benefit from the digital economy. And if you talk about, the reforms are designed to reflect world we are living in and brings law and obligations. So fundamentally, almost every aspect of our lives revolves around the data. That is very true. And we have seen that the data is changing with the change of time. The real-time data is coming up. And from social media companies to bank retailers and government, almost every service we use involves the collection and analysis of our personal data. That is very true. Either we talk about, the governance, the electronic governance model, which is in the form of Aadhaar, or we talk about, the banking information, which is by any of our bank which we are having, and then there's certain social networking site also. So your name, address, credit card number, wallets, plastic money detail, and perhaps most importantly stored by the organization. So what happened? These data, which is considered to be the real-time data, are sold in a different manner. There were certain incidents which occurred. If you go through the reading material online, you will find out that that particular company have got billions of data, and they have sold that data to other companies. So this is very bad. So when you talk about GDPR policy regulate all those things, and if any of the company indulge in this kind of malpractices, I think they would be in big trouble. So massive penalty and heavy penalty is going to impose on them, and in that case they have no option but to become bankrupt. So this is the way by which the law is going to apply, and the General Data Protection Regulation is a regulation in EU law on data protection and privacy in the European Union and the European Economic Area. It also addresses the transfer of personal data outside the EU and EEA areas. Companies worldwide are storing and archiving a lot of personal data which need to be regulated so as to protect the personal lives of people from getting affected. So how did it come about? In January 2012, the European Commission set up plans for data protection return across the European Union, fit for the digital age. This was the model which was there, and almost 4 years later, agreement was reached on, and it involved how it will be enforced. And one of the key components of the reforms in the introduction of GDPR regulation is that it applies to the organization in all member states and has implications for business and individuals across Europe and beyond. So there was a boundary when it was restricted to Europe. Now it is open to the Indian jurisdictions also. And what does GDPR means? GDPR established one law across the continent and a single set of rules which apply to companies doing business with member states. And Commission claims GDPR will save euro 2.3 billion per year across Europe. This is the data which had been taken care from there. So, and if you talk about the Europe's rules on data protection, lawmakers are creating a business opportunity and encouraging innovations, the Commission says. So there are 7 principles of GDPR which talks about lawfulness, fairness and transparency. So what I have talked about, it's not when the regulator develops. The regulator works in a more holistic manner, more realistic manner, and having a very global impact. So lawful, fairness and transparency is there, purpose limitation is there, data minimization is there. How you are going to minimize the data? It's not like that you are going to store n number of information about the particular consumers. You are not storing the data information about the consumers, but about their family members. So why you are going to use the data or storing the family information? So this talks about the data minimization, the minimum data requirement which need to be uploaded on the web, and accuracy is there. how much accurate the data is, and storing limitations. There are certain storage limitations also. It's not like that as a consumers you can store a number of things. And if you talk about the Indian scenario, when we go for the payment, we always follow a two layer of security. Like one is the CVV number which we usually give while doing the transactions, and other is the OTP number, that is one time password. So when you're giving the one time password, I think both the information are not going to be stored in a system. So anytime if the website or the portal is going to be hacked, they are not going to hack the particular credit card information. So and that is the reason this wallets or this plastic money storing device are just storing a basic minimum information. So integrity and confidentiality is there, which is in the form of security. Then accountability, how much you are accountable if the data is going to be hacked, and if if the consumer data is going any malpractices is done, or any wrong transaction done, or any the fraud occurs, who is going to be accountable? I think if the consumers have uploaded the data on the particular portal, and accidentally the data and any information leak from there, and the hackers have withdraw money from that particular plastic money, to whom the responsibility will be forwarded. And in that case, whether it's the fault of the consumer or it's the fault of the company, that need to be defined. So accountability is very important ingredient, because if the accountability is fixed, I think very easily you can control the fraud by that. So key takeaways are there: be transparent with data, limit data to what you need, limiting kept data. Data must be accurate, and it changes with the change of time, and that is considered to be a real-time data, and limit storage of personal data. That is more important, because there was a time when we put all the details on the portal, and finally what happened, if the website hacked or if the portal hacked, very easily the person can extract the information of the individual. So integrity and confidentiality is there. You have, as a portal, as a website, as a vendor, it's your moral duty that you are going to maintain the integrity and not going to share that data with other websites or the portal. So accountability is something which is there. And then there are top GDPR challenges to date. Like 20% believes that educating internal employees. That is very true, because if you are going to educate, for that the mentoring and training program is going on, which is just talking about that the inside employee need to be groomed. So 23% is not having enough resources to complete GDPR implementation. That is very true, and this is the biggest challenge right now. So what we observe, that a lot of the startups which have recently been introduced, they are in big fear right now, that how to save the data and where to store. If their cloud computing model, if their data storage is not foolproof, ultimately they will be in trouble. So keeping in mind what they are doing, they are either collaborating with any cloud-based servers, or the foolproof servers, so that data is not going to be hacked. 20% believe that communicating with customers, this is the biggest challenge, because if you are communicating with consumers and consumers have furnished certain informations, and that information leaked, the problem occurs, then addressing technical issues in timely manner. So these are the challenges which are coming up, because data protection regulators are are quite cautious in this, and they are watching as a watchdog what I have talked about. So bigger responsibility, bigger repercussions. There is a fine of up to 4% of turnover if organization breach the GDPR, and can be fined up to 4% of annual global turnover, which comes to euro 20 million. So this is the responsibility, and the biggest impact is that. So if you are not serious, if you are not cautious as a vendor, as a e-commerce portal or the digital content provider, you will be in big trouble. It's increased territorial scope, and good part is that it applies to any company processing personal data, and it can provide you the roof to do the cross-border business. So consent matters. Explicit consent must be provided in an intelligible and easily accessible form. As far as GDPR, whatever the information you're going to furnish, it should be quite crystal clear, so that as a layman, as a consumer, as an individual, when I am furnishing my information, I should know how much information I have to give, and it should be quite clear in nature. So right to access and portability, users can inquire whether and how their personal data is being processed. Then breach notification within 72 hours. Breaches must be reported within 72 hours, so that any hacking or anything fraud had been occurred, it need to be regulated. So either from the consumer end or from the vendor end. So privacy by design, data protection from the onset of design of systems rather than a retrospective addition, and it should be more customized in nature. Right to be forgotten entitles the data subject to have the data controllable, erase, hit personal data or the third parties, and mandatory data protection officers. So on the other hand, there must be appointment of certain cases to facilitate the company needs to demonstrate the GDPR compliances, because that is more important. So separate departments are need to be created. Now, what we observe that as far as India is concerned, India has followed the EU General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) in allowing global digital companies to conduct business under certain conditions. So what we observe that on the lines of this General Data Protection Regulations, India wing of GDPR had already been established, and this wing is working in this direction. So India is in the process of enacting the Personal Data Protection Bill, which was presented in the draft in the beginning of 2019 to provide cross-sectoral regulations of personal data, and then e-commerce operators like other business who have just entered into, because in India there is a great paradigm shift now. There are a lot of changes is coming up, and what we observe that a lot of players are there which are deliberately moving from brick and mortar to electronic mode, to the online mode. So when they are floating the product through online or selling the product through online, a lot of penetration is there from the consumer end, from the individual end, and big data is coming up. So now the challenge is that how they are going to streamline the data, big data, and use for their purpose. And but on the other hand, the severe challenge is that how they are going to store the data, or keep the data safely, so that the hackers are not going to hack, or they can make themselves away from the cyber crime or cyber threat. So this is the challenge which is coming up, and we have seen that this kind of model is also there. And if you talk about the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019 was tabled in the Indian Parliament by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology on 11 December 2019, and as of March 2020, the bill is being analyzed by the Joint Parliamentary Committee in consultation with experts and stakeholders. So what we observed that this electronic data protection in India is currently governed by the Indian Penal Code, the Information Act 2000, and the Information Technology Rules, first introduced in 2011. So IT Act 2000 was established, and after a certain time, what we observed that within this 20 years time, certain amendments had come up. So then there was 2007, 2011, but with the change of time, this Personal Data Protection (PDPA) Act is coming into force, and this law is now taking care and working as a regulator also. So if you talk about GDPR compliances for digital marketers in India, digital marketers in India are website being global in nature. Almost each and every website in India draws traffic from the European Union region. That is very true. There are certain websites which are not just confined to the Indian jurisdiction, but the government of India had made certain gateways, and when any website or any foreign transaction we used to do, it moves through the gateway which had been developed by the government of India. So this works as a monitoring cell, and they are calculating, or they are locating or working on this thing. So digital marketers in India who have website traffic from European Union should definitely be concerned to adhere to GDPR regulations. So what we have observed that GDPR is changing in a very different manner, and when we are talking about big data analytics, I think the big data analytics or the real time information is there. There was a time when nothing was in a brick and mortar, nothing was in an electronic mode or in an online mode. Everything was in a brick and mortar mode. But the way digitalization had come up, the digital marketers had come up, or the Indian players are just changing. It's not like that the foreign players have come up in this mode. The Indian players have also come up are moving in a digital platform. And when this digital model is coming up, when this digital platform is coming up, they have to follow the certain guidelines which is there, because lot of issues is there when you are putting anything online. It's not, and if you talk in a present scenario, this it's a very tedious task. When you're putting this the contents, your content, or selling online, you have to adhere to the GDPR policy. You have to maintain the heavy databases. You have to have in a cloud server mode, so that the data can move in a very faster mode. And technology is a very costly affair, and we have already seen that right now technology is not everybody cup of tea. It's not like that you can just have a computer or a small data bank and you can do that. You have to follow many regulations. You have to follow certain guidelines which are adhered to this model. So what I mean to say that this GDPR compliances and other things are changing with the change of time. And if you see this particular image, I think what we have observed that this as far as lawfulness and transparency is concerned, this storing or limitations, there are certain storing limitations also we have talked about. If we go more into the depth of these principles of GDPR, we see that confidentiality and integrity is also important, and how much the accountability is there, how much uh, this integrity and confidentiality is there, that need to be taken care, because in GDPR we have to see that how we are going to take care. And now the other thing is that, which I was talking about, that that data breaches, data security, and cyber threats and cyber crime are there. The way things are changing, and if the companies are not adhered to this particular platform, and if they are not changing themselves with the change of time, they will be in big trouble. It's not like that the company is very small and they have got a small bank of data. But crime is crime. If you have done the stereotype crime or the cyber crime, the crime is there. And GDPR talks about that if there could be any data breaches or any data threat, who could be the responsible. They have developed the accountability format, where if the intimation is done within the 72 hours, I think the whole sole responsibility goes to the vendors who have stored the data. And the way the coding is done, the model is there. We have seen that very easily. You will find out that these kind of changes is there. Now the question comes that the personal data we have observed that the personal data is uploading by the consumers in a very faster mode. In Aadhaar, as far as the e-governance side is concerned, like maintaining of Aadhaar card or direct bank transfer, there is a possibility that cyber crime could occur. So how the government is going to take care, because this is a rule which is not applied to the private vendors or the the e-commerce portal, but to the government also, because and the banking industry also. There are certain banks which are private banks, there are certain banks which are nationalized banks. So, and when you talk about the bank, it's purely deal with the finance, and there is a possibility that the fraud can be occurred, because the money which is in the bank account can very easily diverted to the other um, uh, uh, person's account. So how the bank is going to be working in this direction, that need to be taken care. And what we have observed, yes, that there are certain compliances, GDPR compliances, which need to be important. And if you talk about this particular uh, takeaways, like there are 7 principles which talks about be transparent with data. Number one. Number two, limit data to what you need. So if they are limiting to the data, what what exactly they are taking care, uh, that is there, and data must be accurate. And what we observe that sometimes what happen, wrong information pertains to that, and the genuinity of the information is also going to be checked with that. So uh, I think we have talked a lot about GDPR, and General Data Protection Regulator is a new step in this direction, and it's not confined to the Western worlds, but the pan world, the countries or the vendors, or the government, or the e-commerce portals who are just storing the data. They are they are going to be quite cautious into it and work on this. I think we can wind up my session by that, and the next session is going to talk something more over and above to this what we have discussed in this preceding sessions. Thank you very much.